Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Saturday HOA Brunch, presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. Please sit back, relax, and join Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick for an hour of entertaining information about HOAs and HOA law.
Good morning, Sacramento. Welcome back to the Saturday HOA Brunch, and we're excited again because we're kicking off the year with another bang, and we've got more Northern California Common Interest Development Management clout here. We have Mr. Brad Higgins from Associated Management Concepts.
Thank you for having me. Look forward to the hour here.
It's going to be
welcome,
fun.
Brad. Yeah, and welcome, listeners, our loyal listeners. I am Brad Epstein. My co-host is Jonathan Broderick, and we're really happy to be here with Brad Higgins with AMC. And we're going to talk about community association law, as we always do, community association management. And so our topic today is not state of the union, state of the state, state of the city, but Brad Higgins, it's
state of the community.
State of the association, state of the community. Yeah, these are things that you want to think about, Jonathan, as a board member to determine whether your association is in good health, to report back to the owners, right, Brad?
Absolutely. These are multi-million-dollar not-for-profit corporations, and as such, it's where the tire hits the road for many of us that live in these communities and want to know how our money is spent improving them. So I'd definitely like to chat about that this morning.
Yeah, and so, Brad, before we hear about you and your great company, your management company, just in general, you guys, so we're going to be talking about, in general, how an association money is being spent to improve your community, and we're going to talk about budgets and reserves, and we're going to go ahead and intersperse the law into these great ideas that Brad Higgins has, his experience, and we've been rapping for about a half an hour here talking about some big issues, infrastructure below ground, Jonathan, and we're going to talk about things that your board of directors can do as goals for the year, how they spend their money, of course. And one topic that I really want to talk about is security and the issues of security, because that every year, Brad, doesn't that get bigger and bigger?
It's extremely important for the safety and security of all the residents within these communities.
Yeah, okay. Now, also, we want to hear from our callers. We're at 888-923-1380, 888-923-1380, KTKZ The Answer. You can listen to us on your computer.
Yeah, listen live, www.am1380theanswer.com, or you can go to our website. If you missed a show, www.thesaturdayhoabrunch.com. And we've got all of the shows loaded on there, and you can listen to, I think we're on like episode 54, 55.
Something like that, but we do get a lot of visitors on that. And again, you go right on our website page, right? Not our Facebook page, or our Facebook page take you to our website. Is that how it works?
It actually has a link. With technology now, you can actually utilize all these tools and get from one page to the next very easily.
And you missed one last week, too, by the way.
Can you, Brad, go ahead and tell us about AMC? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience in the industry.
Well, thank you. Once again, it's good to be here this morning. AMC has been in business over 25 years managing homeowners associations. That's what we specialize in. We have associations in the surrounding 5 counties. We have 15 employees, all of which service those clients.
Wow, and you guys are growing.
Yes, we have. We've
rapidly
grown tremendously last year by over 10%. We have every other month seminars to educate our boards of directors. We have board training opportunities for them. AMC is devoted to educating.
Educating, yeah. That's one key to, I think, your company's success is educating your board members. And you said 25 years? Over 25 years?
25 years.
Yeah, my company's been in 25 years. So I'm looking at you saying, what a young man here. And I've known you for 25 years. You look like a kid. This is fantastic.
My only question for Mr. Higgins would be is how do you transition from management in Hawaii to the Sacramento region? It's got to be a difficult change.
It's all in the temperature. All in the temperature. On a gray day like today, yes. But,
and let's also introduce a man we need to give some credit to.
Absolutely.
Your Vice President of Marketing, Dwayne Williams, is also here in studio with us. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, Dwayne, and what it's like working for such a great management company.
Well, I'm not from Hawaii, but it's great to be here working with Brad. It's great to work for AMC because we make a difference in the community. and we make a difference with the associations that we work with. So I've had the privilege of working with them for several years now, and we're having a lot of fun and doing a lot of good out there.
Yeah, we are. And Dwayne, one thing I think our listeners need to know is how I periodically beat you at golf, right? I have to teach you how to play. Dwayne is a great golf. He's a great golfer.
Well, the only thing about that is I stop after 9 holes, so you play 18. Makes a difference.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Dwayne has taken me golfing before, and just a fun day. Great guy, and I think a real key to AMC success. 888-923-1380.
Real quick, though, Dwayne, he has a little gift or opportunity that he wants to announce to make sure that people are actually awake and listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch. So, Dwayne, why don't you go ahead and tell us what the listeners can get today if they pay attention?
Yes, thank you for asking. Yes, as a matter of fact, since this is the brunch, we're going to talk about food. We have a special offer for our listeners today. If you happen to be a board member, we're offering dinner for 2 at El Fornay Restaurant to the first board member that calls us here at the station and sets up an appointment with AMC just for a free consultation to talk about your association. So that will be dinner for 2 for the first board member that calls us here at the station during the show. Now, there is a qualification. You must be at least 75 units or larger. But call us and talk with Brad, and we'll set up an appointment for you. What's the number again they should call?
888-923-1380. And also, Mr. Higgins, single-family home condominiums, just 75 units plus, dinner for 2 at El Forneo.
That's
right?
correct. That's correct.
Limousine service.
I don't know about the limo service, but that dinner's hanging in there.
All right, so I think we have a call already. Well, there you go. We've got, it looks like Frank, our great production engineer and receptionist in the back, is going to put Phyllis. Phyllis, are you with us?
Yes.
How are you doing this morning, Phyllis?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. What are you up to this morning? Just listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch and...
Well, I have a meeting at 10 o'clock to discuss turning over some of our accounts to ATC with Brad's firm, Angius&Terry. So I'm just checking in before I go.
Oh, there you go, Brad. Phyllis is calling in because she's got some stuff she's got to work out with ATC, so she just wanted to call in and say hi. She's getting ready for a board meeting.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you so much, Phyllis, for calling in.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
I get to ask a question?
Go for it. Go ahead and ask a question.
This really doesn't have to do specifically with budgets, but I'm curious. We have 1,100 members, and it's extremely difficult to get people to want to serve on the board. And we've done it for a while with 4, but we have a situation where we think that the possibility exists that there may only be 2 of the 5 board members left. 3 may resign. Since we have to have a quorum to do business, what happens in a situation like that where we can't get people to serve or that won't be appointed and we can't do business with 2 people?
Yeah, what a struggle. So you have to look at your bylaws specifically to determine whether you can do business or not. And most of the time sometimes, I would say the majority of the times, if a board of directors doesn't have enough board members to make a quorum, then the only business they can do, and Brad, you correct me if I'm wrong, is to go ahead and appoint board members. They need to get other board members on. Now, it becomes the problem of, your association, Phyllis, how many homes again?
It's 1,100.
1,100, so you should have 1,100 homeowners that want to be on the board. Yeah, not so fast, Brad. So, yeah, what you have to do is you have to do an advertising campaign. What I have done is, on behalf of boards, I've had to let the owners know that if, in fact, you don't have any board members on your board, and that's how some in the Valley are, then it could go into receivership. Brad, but you never experienced that, right? They've always been able to get board members.
We've always been able to work with the boards and generate the interest that will bring people on. So we've been very successful at that. Give me a call. I'd be glad to help you out on that. We should be able to find other people that will participate to at least establish a quorum, but you definitely need 3 out of your 5 there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Phyllis.
Good luck today.
Have
Thank
fun
you.
at the meeting, Phyllis.
Pardon?
Have fun at the meeting.
Oh, thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Okay, so we've got another call. We've got Claire on the line. Claire, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Just listening to America's #1 community association talk radio show.
That's right.
Great. Do you have a question for us?
Well, I have a question, but I have been retired from a board for a few years, and I know what the lady is saying about having problems, but we didn't have that problem. I will say one thing. When they have these associations, I don't believe people who do not reside in the area should be allowed to be on the board.
Oh,
I
love
believe
it.
they should
Yeah.
only members, who live in that specific community.
And that's a real opinion. What we're going to do is we're going to have Brad Higgins go ahead and tell us what he thinks about that. And thank you,
Claire, for the
Claire,
call,
for
yeah.
calling in. And we're going to go to a break. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a great morning, Claire.
Bye.
If your community association has a good relationship with their current management company, you can stop listening. However, if you are struggling with your current service provider, we'd love to talk with you to see if Omni Community Management would be a good fit. Transparency, education, communication, and trust are just 4 of the qualities that set Omni apart. This is Rolf Crocker, CEO of Omni. Call us at 916-965-8964. That's 916-965-8964. Online at omni-mgt.com. That's omni-mgt.com. Omni Community Management, your friend in the community association management industry for over 20 years.
Have you ever heard of the saying, a person's home is their castle? Of course you have. But sometimes a construction defect can turn your castle into a catastrophe. If this happens to you, you need proper and professional representation. You need Angius&Terry, LLP. For over 30 years, the attorneys at Angius&Terry have been effectively serving homeowners and community associations, recovering more than $500 million on behalf of their clients. Angius&Terry strives to ensure that your construction defect claims are prosecuted in an aggressive and cost-effective manner. Angius&Terry will also continue to work with homeowners and community associations after the construction defect claims are concluded to make sure that the money received from builders is spent wisely and that your interests are protected during the repair process. Don't let a construction defect turn your castle into a catastrophe. Call Angius&Terry LLP today at 916-567-1400. That's 916-567-1400. Online at angius-terry.com. Angius&Terry LLP. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
This is AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Well, we're back for the second segment of our show, and boy, a lot of listeners calling in, chiming in with some nuggets for us, right?
Some real excellent questions.
Yeah, excellent questions.
And before we went to break, we're going to get Brad Higgins with AMC. We're going to get his take on this question comment, and that is, well, or maybe it's an opinion, and that is, should an association allow owners who don't reside at the community to be on the board of directors? Should you allow non-owner occupants to be on the board of directors? Brad, what do you think about that one?
Well, it does go back to their bylaws, Brad. Sometimes they have bylaws that specifically say you have to be an owner-occupant. That's a little rare and far and few between. However, in this day and age, it's hard to get board members to participate and to have people that come from outside the community that may be well qualified and bring an expertise to the association will be to their benefit. And at the same time, I understand that they may not know the intricacies of the day-to-day operation, but that's not what a board member's called to do. That's not their job description. That's the management company's job description.
Let's underline that, because I'm in full agreement with that board members, if they're going to get involved in the day-to-day procedures of how the association actually gets from A to B, then they're not going to have any time to live their lives. That's what you pay a management company to do. It's policy-driven management by the board. So the board of directors, they say to the manager, this is where we want you to get to, but we're not going to tell you how to get there. It'll be up to the management company with their 25 years plus experience like AMC on how to get there. You believe in that 100%, right?
Absolutely. We'll give them the expertise and anticipate those things that they're going to need to be concerned with. Budgets. Excuse me. We were talking about budgets and infrastructures, and with the aging communities, they need to look down the road for water line replacements and sewer line replacements. I've been in contact with a couple of them this past year that had $20,000 special assessments because they didn't put money aside for water line replacements, or $500,000 special assessment. It's extremely important in this day and age that you increase your reserves in anticipation of these kind of major infrastructure replacement items.
Yeah, so that it's really important to determine what are in your reserves. So again, we're talking about the idea of not state of the union, state of the state, state of the city, but state of the association. And as part of that, the association should look back and look forward as far as this subject, very important subject, getting more important every day, of the infrastructure, the below ground. These are sewer lines, these are water supply lines, these are storm drain lines that were not in a lot of reserves because their life expectancy was greater than 30 years.
Correct.
Right? So the law says you need to have in your reserves. You need to save up, right? Save up in the reserves for the association to repair, replace, maintain those components that have a life expectancy of 30 years or less, not more. But now, we're talking about Flint, Michigan, right? That whole ordeal over there.
Yeah, Michael Moore says don't ship water to the thirsty people in Flint, Michigan. It's just going to cause a problem. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
You're always throwing some great stuff out, Jonathan.
Social media.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was watching a show last night, and they're saying the same situation is happening in Ohio. And Brad Higgins with AMC in the studio today, and he was talking about how associations are getting hit pretty hard with so these are complete replacements of below ground infrastructure such as sewer lines, huh?
Yes, they are. They're actually deteriorated to the point that they're removing these lines, digging up the streets, putting in new water lines in a home, 150 residential homes. Very expensive proposition. That's why it was $20,000.
Now, you were talking about this idea. I think you heard that it's maybe the media saying it. Those who are saving, just regular folks who are saving for their retirement, chuck an extra 1%, right, into your savings.
Exactly. And so that's why it's critical for homeowners associations to increase their reserves, to take a look and anticipate what these expenses are. The alternative of large special assessment is not palatable for most owners, $20,000 or even $5,000. So to have smaller incremental increases is much more palatable.
Yeah, and let me, Dwayne, let me throw one out at you, because you're basically in constant contact with a lot of board members who are interested in signing up with AMC. And so you're really shaking hands with a lot of board members. And is that something that they're really considering? Is this something at the top of their list, or something that more they need to be educated on? And that is the reserves, the sufficiency of reserves, especially for those components that they really haven't thought of before.
Well, Brad, I'm glad you asked that question, because we've done some research recently. And as a matter of fact, on some of our literature, we talk about the fact that more than 70% of the boards are underfunded. And that could be a serious problem. So that's one of the things that's very important that boards look at.
Yeah. So to underline that, The law doesn't say you must be 100% funded in your reserves. The law doesn't say that.
How could it?
Well,
I mean, it'd be.
It could. Jonathan, other states
in
do.
Hawaii.
Other states
there you go, Hawaii, right?
But I mean, isn't there some differences in what maybe is an emergency that comes up in a community? So maybe funds that have been allocated to other line items on your reserve study, you might have to dip into the kitty. So if you had to make that decision, and you've got to do something that's an emergency, right? So maybe there's water intrusion in a unit, okay? The association's got to take action. It's an extensive repair. You bring all these experts out, the management company like AMC and their great managers, they get everybody in line in order. This is how much it's going to cost. We've got to take a little bit from here to fix this over here. That's going to be a situation where your reserve studies might change.
Absolutely. Reserve studies have Bob Browning with BRG. They advocate this. The reserve analysis is a guide that you should actually use. Well, just another reason to add another 1%, right, to your reserves is these emergencies.
Absolutely. And it's amazing, Brad, how many homeowners associations are self-managed and don't have reserve studies. I've actually had them come to me as of late that are 50, 60, 75 units without a reserve study, so they can't disclose to their owners where they're at financially. Are they looking at special assessments? Do they have enough money for painting and roofing and siding and paving? It's a scary thought.
But they have like a chalkboard in their maintenance shed with their dollar amount and everything. Okay, let's see. That's crazy that you'd have that many units without a financial plan.
And Dwayne, when you're out there shaking hands with those potential board members, do they come to you and reveal that, hey, we don't even have a reserve study?
Well, what we find is that some of them don't even know that they are supposed to have a reserve study, according to David Sterling. So that's one of the things that we do. In addition to that, one of the things that we do at AMC as well is that we meet with some associations and offer a free budget analysis. And, Brad spends an awful lot of time, Brad Higgins, that is, spends an awful lot of time doing this, but sometimes we do that. So you give us a call, visit our website, and we'll come out and we'll look at your budget and review your budget for you and offer a free budget analysis for you.
What's that number for them to give you a call at, Dwayne?
They should call Brad. They should call us at 565-8080. That's 916-565-8080, extension 324. That's our office.
Great.
Yeah, so what California law does, since they don't require 100% funding of reserves, here's how they get you. They get you in that every single year, you as board members are required to put together an assessment and reserve funding disclosure summary. The associations have to disclose to the owners how well funded they are. And as in turn, when an owner is going to sell their home, eventually everyone sells their home, then they're going to have to disclose this information to potential buyers. This could directly affect the market values of your homes. Brad, tell us about this. So you say you're going to do something for free?
Well, we do a budget analysis. I have associations that come to me frequently, and how can we save money? So there's the opportunity to save money through landscape renovation to minimize water. I've had association had a $100,000 water bill. This year it's $60,000 because they removed turf and improved their curb appeal and value of their homes at the same time and saved money. We can advise you in that.
That is really huge because no one is walking around saying that the drought is over because we're in this little El Nino. No way. And what we're doing is we're doing a lot of architectural standard revisions or drafting brand new architectural standards for the potential of owners replacing their lawns with turf, for the potential of owners replacing their lawn with low water using plants. And so the associations, like you said, are actually doing it on their own. This is more for owners who want to do it in their yards, and the board of directors can then control to a certain degree these owners taking out their yards and putting in turf.
Great.
Okay, when we come back, what should we talk about? I think we should talk about
State of associations. Keep talking about what?
And security.
Sounds good.
We'll be back shortly.
Having trouble understanding your community association's reserve study? Does your HOA's reserve study seem to be written in a strange language? Hi, I'm Robert Browning, owner of the Browning Reserve Group. At the Browning Reserve Group, we have been providing easy-to-understand reserve studies since 1999. We actually listen to our communities and help them plan for the future. Find us online at browningrg.com. That's browningrg.com, or toll free at 877-708-0600. That's 877-708-0600. Clarity from complexity, the Browning Reserve Group.
If you are a community association or manager, you know your banking relationship is vital to your success. At Sacramento Bank of Commerce, a division of Redding Bank of Commerce, our industry expertise and personal attention make that task a breeze. With our specialized banking, lockbox, online banking, and remote deposit capture, trips to the bank are no longer necessary. And Sacramento Bank of Commerce can help your communities with a loan to repair, replace, or upgrade the investment. For local decisions and in-house processing, get in touch with our team today. Call Sacramento Bank of Commerce at 916-772-0131. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you see the story about the Homeowners Association? I wonder what their residents think.
I don't know, but I love my condominium association. The place looks great and is well managed, and our property values are increasing.
Well, that's a good thing.
Community Associations Institute, CAI, has helped us build a great community. They have tools for safeguarding our investment, including education for our board and professional training for our manager. Just visit CAI at responsiblecommunities.com.
Okay, responsiblecommunities.com.
This is AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Saturday HOA Brunch. 9:32 on the clock, and it's still a little bit cloudy outside, but I think it's going to be an okay day in Sacramento. And it's always okay here because we're advocating and educating on behalf of the common interest development industry. And we have Mr. Brad Higgins, president of AMC, here with us, along with his vice president and director of marketing, Dwayne Williams. So listen up. In a few minutes, we're going to announce another special offer. We've got something to give away, so pay attention. Counselor, let's talk some more about the legalities that affect common interest developments.
Yeah, before we move on over to, and again, this is state of the association. These are things that board of directors should do every year, right? We see it done at annual meetings, right, Brad, where the board president will say, this is what we did last year and what we're looking forward to doing this year. We're going to talk about that, but just real quickly, let's sort of wrap up with reserves. So the reserves, again, that's the money that associations must put aside to maintain, repair, and replace those components that have life expectancies of less than 30 years. And in order to come up with that number, then associations, they have to actually do an inspection every 3 years of those components.
Correct.
Right, so that ties that up. We have other subjects, but one of my favorite subjects is, especially about state of the community, is security. This issue of gated communities, their gates, and what's really hot out there are the cameras that you can get really cheap. You could get at stores really inexpensively.
They
right?
are very cost effective, but our friend Elijah, who was in here with his colleague Basil from Peace of Eye Security Solutions, they do state that sometimes with security cameras, just be cautious. You get what you pay for. So you want to make sure that if you're trying to protect the community, he's saying, make sure you pay for a quality camera where you can actually read the license plate or you can actually see the person, so that if you do have to go after someone who's being detrimental to your community, you at least have the camera and the means to do it.
So you're saying that we shouldn't buy them and install them ourselves?
Well, I probably wouldn't go down to the local Walmart and buy a security camera, but there's a lot of options, and it's like anything else. You want to make sure that if you're putting in a security system, it works.
Right. Well, let's talk about the problem and what these board of directors are trying to achieve. So one problem that I saw last year in the Roseville, California area was it seemed to be a rash of incidents where criminals were attacking the gang mailboxes out in those communities. And it was probably about a dozen or so. And they were coming to me, and I was going to board meetings and trying to figure this out. And to me, it sounded like that's a really tough problem. What was happening is these criminals were opening up those gang mailboxes that are very common in associations. So that's one security problem that we see. Brad, what other ones have you experienced? Have you experienced where another common one is at communities that are gated, right? Mm-hmm. The gate always breaks down. And so the board of directors, they make a decision. Okay, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and this is a vehicle gates getting into the community. We're going to go ahead and we'll keep it open, say in rush hours, in the morning and the evening.
And it is a very serious concern. And when we're talking about the state of your community, is your community safer? And how can that be improved upon? So
all board members carry guns. No, I'm just kidding.
I've had them threatened to. However, the security cameras have been utilized with the license plate recognition. I've actually had the police catch the bad guys within a day and resolve the issues. But it's extremely important that you address the issues for board members to know of issues and then not take proactive action to address them, leaves the association open to liability. It's extremely important you get a hold of your legal firm, Brad Epstein, and talk about what those liabilities are if you fail to address them.
Hey, Brad, why don't you talk a little bit about the difference between a security gate and how that's security? Because a lot of people think because you have a security gate that's security.
No, those are really vehicle access gates. Those are not security gates to keep you free from crime. Third parties can enter into your community at any time, and it's really incumbent upon you as the owner to maintain a safe home with security items. But the association will address that for you, hopefully by neighborhood watch, by security cameras, by keeping the owners appraised of what's going on in the community. Extremely important. You can go online to these websites and find out what's going on within the community to keep yourself safe as well.
Okay, Jonathan teased earlier that there's a special offer. And drum roll, please.
I wish I had one for you, Dwayne.
Okay, dinner for two at El Fornay Restaurant to the first board member that calls the show and schedules an appointment with AMC just for a consultation. This has a $100 value, so the first board member that calls the show and schedules an appointment with Brad and I for an evaluation will receive this dinner for two. What's the number again?
888-923-1380. 888-923-1380.
Yeah, why wouldn't you call in? I mean, you get the dinner, plus you get to hang out with Brad Higgins and Dwayne. I mean, come on, you guys.
It'll be a great evening.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's repeat that important thing that Brad Higgins said. He said that those vehicle gates, they're not security gates. They are privacy gates.
Vehicle access
gates. Right. So what we do frequently is we assist associations in putting disclaimers in their newsletters when there is maybe a increased incidence of crime or just in general when an association is gated. So you want to say things like, please aware that the association is not responsible to protect owners and residents against crime. Vehicle entry gates are not intended to prevent crime. However, they are intended to assist with owners and residents' privacy. And, we got a caller, but let me just finish it up. And you as owners, so you put this in your newsletters, you as owners, you're responsible to protect yourself against crime. Please take the steps to protect yourself against property loss or personal harm. These are good to let the owners know that they can't just sit on their hands and think that the association is going to protect them, because that's not the association's role.
Brad, one of the things that you provided us was a crime-free policy for our association. Extremely valuable tool. Greatly appreciate your expertise in that. That's been instrumental in changing the atmosphere within difficult communities. But thank you for that policy, a crime prevention policy.
Yeah. And this is a policy that it traveled from, it was first invented in Arizona. And then we started using it for associations in Modesto. And it is a crime-free addendum to your CC&Rs or to your rules. What it's doing is trying to address the problem of making less crime in your community by putting a burden on the owners to make sure that their tenants are not committing crimes or haven't committed crimes, and it has proven very effective.
Extremely effective. Thank you very much.
I don't want to interrupt this important discussion
But
about
you will.
security, but I will, because there's a caller. That's kind of a priority, right? So we have Kathy on the line. Hi, Kathy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Brad and Brad?
Yeah, so you got the Brad squared today in studio. Did you have a question for us, Kathy, or did you?
I do, and this question is no reflection on Brad from AMC. I'm not familiar with your property management, but I do have a question. I've been the president and treasurer of our board for over 23 years.
Congratulations.
And I have a question. Do you ever think the HOA manager will be held accountable for assisting board members in violating their governing documents and or the Davis-Sterling Act to benefit themselves? Right now, HOA managers are held exempt, but of course, they don't always do things as we want them to do. In other words, we have board members acting on their own without board authorization, and property managers assisting them. And of course, again, that's no reflection on AMC. I'm not familiar with your company, but I would love to be because you sound very educated.
Hey, Kathy, we have a question. Then, are you interested? Do you qualify for the special offer that Dwayne and Brad had proposed today for the consultation or $100 dinner?
I guess according to our documents, we are, because it was the HOA manager that suggested to the board that they remove me as president because I questioned the finances. So technically only board members and the homeowners can remove me. So technically I'm still on the board, but that's not why I'm calling for the free dinner, because I'm sure it's a wonderful gift.
Man, we can't give away a free dinner.
That sounds like an interesting story. Maybe that'd be a whole separate episode. Okay, so let's talk about our question. So the question is this: is there repercussions to board members who take action outside their authority? And we see this done. The latest one I've seen is board members going for some investments without actually getting board approval, taking money from the association.
Heading to the casino or something?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Brad Higgins, take a shot at this. What do you think?
No, it's an interesting topic that we could talk about, but unilateral decisions by board members are inappropriate. They have to be done by a board as a whole. We educate boards of directors on how to make those decisions, and we come in and do that at no cost. I'd be glad to meet with your board and go over that kind of training that will help them to make better decisions.
Yeah, and Kathy, there are direct repercussions. Absolutely. A lawsuit could be filed on behalf of the association for breach of fiduciary duty by the board of directors against the association, and the board member, what could happen is that the board member's actions could be outside the umbrella of protection
of the D&O policy.
Right, the directors and officers' errors and omissions policy. Exactly.
That's what I was thinking. Brad was in his head was going, well, the first thing we're going to make sure is that if you have all these rogue board members, let's make sure that they've got an insurance policy, because if they don't, they're going to get themselves and the association in a lot of trouble.
Well, thank you, Kathy. Do you have any other remarks or questions?
No, I don't. But thank you very much for the answer. I guess my one question was so if they're found not negligent by the insurance policies, and actually it's found to be like an intentional act, then can the board members be held accountable individually?
Yes, they can. You're right on the money. That's the danger. Yeah. Well, thank you, Kathy, for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, Kathy.
Thank you.
Great questions, lots of callers, but I'm still waiting for
who's going to take us up on
El Fornayo dinner winner.
Very generous offer by AMC.
Yeah, so we're going to get ready here. We're going to go to break. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Don't you live in an HOA? Are you a board member?
Well, not yet. I'm in training. So we'll come back for the fourth segment of our show. We're going to try to give away a dinner for two at El Fornayo. Stay with us. Don't turn the dials.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fussell. My company, Broadband Agreements, negotiates cable television and broadband right of entry, access, and compensation agreements for your communities. At Broadband Agreements, we offer a free review of all agreements with a signed letter of authorization. Broadband Agreements will improve your community's income and/or savings, or you don't pay us a dime. Visit us at broadbandagreements.com. That's broadbandagreements.com. Or call me, Morgan Fussell, directly at 916-939-5026. That's 916-939-5026. Broadband Agreements online at broadbandagreements.com or 916-939-5026.
The challenges presented by today's economy and rebounding housing market is forcing many homeowners association boards of directors to operate their HOAs more like a business. It's a balancing act of trying to stay solvent and still provide homeowners with quality amenities and services. One of the main challenges HOA boards are facing is attempting to recover unpaid HOA fees owed by delinquent homeowners. Collection efforts are often very time-consuming. If you want to get the HOA fees collection monkey off of your back, call ATC Assessment Collection Group. ATC is an attorney-supervised collection company, providing collection and foreclosure services to HOAs in both California and Nevada's most recognizable communities. Get back to what you actually volunteered to do as an HOA board member. Effectively oversee your community. Call ATC today at 916-641-1410. That's 916-641-1410. Online at atcacg.com. That's atcacg.com. ATC Assessment Collection Group. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
News, opinion, insight. AM 1380. The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Ooh, I'm looking outside of the beautiful studio here at KTKZ 1380, and it's kind of balmy. It looks like it might be balmy today, but the sun is starting to creep out of the clouds, so I hope we get a little sunshine today. We've got Dwayne here, Vice President of Marketing with AMC, and the President, Mr. Brad Higgins. Dwayne, one more time, we've got one more segment with the show, and we're trying to let somebody have a great dinner for two at El Forneo, and it's free.
It is free. It's a $100 value. It's great Italian food. They have a restaurant in Gold River and downtown. So the first board member that calls us to schedule an appointment with AMC for a free consultation and evaluation will receive a free dinner for two. Now, minimum 70 units, and hopefully you'll be in the Sacramento area because we're not driving to Phoenix. But the first board member that calls us will receive this dinner for two offer. And what's the number again?
888-923-1380.
So we're talking about State of the Association, and in studio we have Brad Higgins and Dwayne Williams, and we keep saying AMC. That's Association Management Concepts, and you could check out their great website at assocmc.com, assocmc.com. They're here in Sacramento, and they have a broad geographic scope. So it's State of the Association. I want to finish it up with security and then head on over to board member participation. And so with security, the issue also is when an owner wants to put something at their home that will increase their own personal security, in general, associations have to allow the owner to go ahead and install security devices that are reasonable. It has to be has a reasonable standard, but there's this big, famous California Supreme Court case, right, Brad?
Absolutely.
The Francis T. case.
And I had something just recently similar to that with a board member refusing to put in a garage door and a resident saying that she was being harassed by vagrants moving into a garage. And for the board to fail to take action on that would have opened them up to liability, if knowing that there was a problem and failing to act on it. So our recommendation was to act upon it, and they had to make some tough decisions. But that's our job at AMC, is to keep you in a safe harbor to minimize that liability before you get out into choppy waters.
That's what AMC does, is they minimize the liability for your associations. They have this independent, experienced viewpoint that will assist board members, because we get emotional. We get emotional as board members, and we're making a decision, and we try not to let our personal feelings get involved in those decisions and try to make them objective. And AMC is fantastic at assisting board members in making those great decisions.
Well, they have to make the right decision on behalf of the whole community.
Absolutely, on the whole, as a community as a whole. Listen to Broderick over here; he just is learning this community association.
I just Googled it.
And so, well, real quickly, the Francis T case was where an owner in a condominium, she wanted to put in lighting outside her condominium unit. There's crime in the area. Board of directors said, that's not going to fit in with the aesthetics of the neighborhood. We're not going to allow you to do it. Of course, they don't allow her to do it. She gets assaulted at her unit, and the case goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says you have to allow an owner to put in security devices or you're going to be liable. So the last item we're going to talk about today, Brad, is getting people to, and sort of this is adjunct to the question we had at the beginning of the show by a caller, and that is getting participation as owners on the board of directors, right?
Absolutely. Real important aspect. And if you're out there this morning and you're an owner or you're looking at buying, it's incumbent upon you to participate within your community. You know, it's a voting year, and at this point, apathy reigns, but you have to get in and put the tire to where it hits the road and participate either on a board, on a committee, or on a social event, but something where you're going to participate to positively affect your homeowners association. And AMC will give you several different options of being able to do that, to bring people in. It's a scenario for all associations right now where there's not enough people participating.
And sometimes what you have to do is you have to get creative to get board members involved, because often it's a thankless job, you know, to be a board member of an association. But if you care about where you live and your community, sometimes you just got to, you got to just jump in and make a difference.
Yeah, proactive community members, I think, help build the sense of community, and it also protects and enhances the number one asset, and that is the association's buildings.
Right, the values of the homes.
And the values.
What I thought was interesting, I was thinking about this morning. Well, what's the difference? Because I knew we were going to talk about state of the association in contrast to, say, state of the union, state of the United States. And I thought, well, what's the difference between running for a board of directors at a community association in contrast to our elections that are going on for presidency?
Well, they don't have big debates, right?
Well, it's there's no party lines. You know, you don't have to worry about Republican versus Democrat. You don't have to worry about that. Everyone really wants the same darn thing.
You just run as Phyllis or Claire or Kathy, right? When you're running for a board of directors, and you don't have this political affiliation with all this nasty mudslinging going on, right? In a community association.
With your extra time, don't you think it would be best served helping the values of your own home, right? Making it a great place to live.
Absolutely. That perception of quality of life is extremely important, and you can participate in that by being on the board.
Yeah, let's give another compliment to AMC, because they're really great at really efficiently performing management of your community association, and that allows board members the free time to be creative and figure out, hey, what will be great to do? What should we make our community better, such as you said, social events, right?
Correct.
Yeah, to have a nice annual meeting with pizza.
Hey, I want to give Dwayne one more opportunity to give his regime, AMC, a shout out and some contact information, maybe website, telephone number, if they want to get a hold of Dwayne and Brad at AMC. Why don't you give that to the listenership one more time?
Yes, AMC. It's not the movie theater. It's Association Management Concepts. You can just Google Association Management Concepts or AMC, but we can be reached at 916-565-8080. That's 916-565-8080.
Hey, thanks again, guys, for joining us. We're already looking forward to the golf tournament.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thanks very much.